not only is Iran covering the Strait of Hormuz, now China is basically creating a blockade for the United States in the South China Sea. You think the Strait of Hormuz is a problem? This is it on steroids. The South China Sea. This is the whole thing about Taiwan. This is all Taiwan was ever about controlling the South China Sea. And we want to control it, just like we can pick on people like Venezuela. Well, you can't do this. This doesn't work. And this is why countries like China are starting to get it and are starting to move fast.
So what happened was, for people not aware, we turned away, we, like the collective, they turned away, I believe it was 6 Chinese ships. Must sound like somebody was coming in. And China's like, okay, we can play that. And so now they're blocking the South China Sea from us. And the thing is, that hurts us a whole hell of a lot more than blocking the Strait of Hormuz does to China. Every step of the way, they're like 5 steps ahead of us. Yeah. All right. U.S. carriers shift to Middle East as China deploys barriers in South China Sea. China installs floating barriers near Scarborough Shoal amid U.S. naval withdrawals, testing regional security dynamics. So this is not really making our mainstream media, by the way. I found this, like I'd heard about it and then I went and looked it up, but it's certainly not making it on CNN. Yeah. Reuters reported on the 15th, citing satellite imagery analysis firm Bantor, that China has deployed vessels and installed floating barriers at the entrance to the South China Sea, where it is engaged in a maritime territorial dispute with the Philippines. This move comes as the United States, which is at war with Iran, has positioned 3 aircraft carriers in the Middle East and withdrawn military assets and personnel from the Indo-Pacific region. Yes, that wasn't so smart. In the past, when U.S. carriers left the area, Beijing often tested the level of external pressure against it through various channels. According to Vantor's images obtained by Reuters, vessels presumed to be Chinese Navy or Coast Guard patrol ships, fishing boats, and floating barriers crossing the reef were detected near the Scarborough Shoal between the 10th and 11th. The Scarborough Shoal is one of the most fiercely contested maritime territories in the Indo-Pacific, where Chinese Coast Guard ships frequently ram and spray water cannons at Philippine maritime patrol vessels. In 2023, China installed floating barriers in the waters around the Scarborough Shoal to block the Philippine fishing boats, leading to a conflict when Philippine Coast Guard divers were dispatched to remove them. Keep going. Let's see. China claims sovereignty over most of the South China Sea under its self-defined 9-dash line. But the Permanent Court of Arbitration, PCA, ruled in 2016 that this claim has no basis under international law. Despite this, Beijing has continued to dispatch patrol ships to the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, prolonging the dispute. So we're noticing, I guess, that none of us follow international law. The U.S. has pressured China since 2015 by conducting freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea. Can you imagine if China was performing freedom of navigation exercises in the Gulf of Mexico? Like, can you, like, and we do that, and then somehow the nerve of them to not like it. It's crazy. It really is. Allies and partner nations advocating for a free and open Indo-Pacific have also participated in these exercises. However, a significant portion of U.S. naval forces is currently deployed near Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. The Washington Post reported last month that the USS George Herbert Walker Bush, which departed from the Norfolk base in Virginia, is expected to arrive in the Middle East around the 21st. This marks the 3rd aircraft carrier to be deployed to the region. Really? You're going to send 3 aircraft carriers to the same exact location? What could go wrong?
Well,
I know he's a military strategist, but it seems really fucking dumb to put all your eggs in one basket. I don't know. Anywho, this marks the 3rd to be deployed to the region, following the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS Gerald Ford. Additionally, part of the terminal high altitude area Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, the THAAD system. A key component in South Korea's defense against North Korean nuclear missile threats has been withdrawn, and the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, typically the first to respond to the contingencies on the Korean Peninsula, has been redeployed from Japan to the Middle East.
World War.
So we're going to take all of our assets and put them in one place, and China is going to, and we're going to keep them out of it. And China's like, hold my beer.
Yeah, they really do.
Oh my God. Okay, so what this means that we shot ourselves in the foot. I'd say we shot ourselves in both feet. So we're sitting here, and again, the micro penises, these guys are sitting there trying to screw over China, and all they're doing is wrapping themselves further and further into this shitstorm that they're never going to be able to get out of. It's really, and
as
glorious.
I said, as we have discussed, everything is about the South China Sea.
Who has Lebanese hashish? Come on, Joey, don't hold out on me, man. That's some good shit. I haven't had hash in years.
I don't know what you're talking
about.
hash.
I do like a good hash, and I'm sure that the hashish there is quite tasty.
What is that? Is that it? I thought that's like a drug. Is that what that is?
Ouch.
Yeah.
It's just resinated weed. It's cannabis, but it's the resin. It's the resin of cannabis.
So you bong hit that? Is that what that is?
Oh, you could do a lot of things. Hash is great. They make people know now they have like these moon rocks. They call them moon rocks, and they're basically little hash nuggets. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, I do. Let me tell you, I've always liked hash. Hash is one of those things that's like a special treat. You know, like I'm always happy, you know, for just any cannabis in general, but like hash, it's like a double dessert situation.
That's Henry Kajawa with a great one.
Thank you, Henry. Hash browns, yes.
So I played a computer game years ago where you get to be a drug dealer, and it's so fucking weird, where you basically
Wanker tanker, this is what I'm dealing with.
So you basically have to make a profit, or they're going to come kill you. It's interesting, but what it was you got to basically trade all types of drugs, and so as many that I didn't know what hashish was, but it was one of those I was on there. It was also peyote, there was cocaine, crack cocaine, heroin.
Yeah, no, none of that's good. But us real cannabis people, we don't mess with that other shit.
Yeah,
we don't mess with that other shit. We often aren't even drinkers. So it's just, we're in a different world.
Well, to each their own. If that's what you like, then that's what you like. But coming full circle, I do think that we are. There's also something to be said. You said that DC is soulless.
Oh, completely.
Knowing what we know.
Thank you, Andrew.
Can we give a happy birthday to...
You're right, Texas Trail, we do smoke. We're flower smokers. Speaking of which, so guys, if you did not know,
excuse me.
Wait, who?
It is Rathbone's birthday, and we have to give a shout out.
Birthday, Rathbone.
It's actually a shitty day for him because he unfortunately passed the 4-0, so you know he's feeling a little long in the tooth.
40's the new 30.
But then I told him I'll be 43 in a few weeks, so he won't feel too bad.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're 40. Wah. You know what I did for my 40th? I did a Habitat for Humanity build, and had a whole bunch of people come out, and we did this whole build, and then I had food truck come out and feed everybody. I earned like I made like $2,700 for them from my 40th.
Rothbone understands my
whatever
proclivity to feel young.
So I wanted to talk about my cannabis experience here in DC for people who are not aware. So the last time I was in DC, cannabis was recreational. And I was unaware Thank you, Andrew. I was unaware that they had lost it. So there is no longer recreational. And so I walked around on my first day here looking for dispensaries that are still on a map but don't exist. So it turns out now they're back to medicinal here. And the reason they're back to medicinal here is because in somehow, some way, somebody at the recreational dispensaries was lacing the weed with meth. And so as a result, it all got shut down. Now, Peter's point, of course, which I do agree with, is that it was just sabotage. It was done purposefully by people who didn't want the rec, that wanted to be able to charge more, whatever it is, that it was sabotaged on purpose, that it wasn't necessarily dispensaries, because why would they do that? Why would they want to sabotage their own profit? Like, that doesn't even make sense. So now we're back to medicinal here. Fortunately, you can get a medicinal card for a temporary person, but we are trying a few different things. I've got this one this is brand new. This is the very first jar of this strain, the very first shipment of strain, and it is called Blue Limeade. And I haven't tried this one yet. So I want to, and then there's also one here that I got that's Panama Red, but that's kind of like an oldie but a goodie. But yeah, no more recreational weed in DC.
Yeah, it's a great point. It is criminal enterprising, which again, there's a lot of different types of criminal enterprising, but it is, like I said, very interesting watching all of these guys run through the halls of Congress, trying to get everybody's attention, and they're all just trying to get. It's like the collapsing empire, and they're all trying to get their last remnants of whatever wealth they think they can squeeze out of it before it's absolutely kaput.